Alright, push down on the button. I'm going to go ahead and connect this. Alright, gonna turn on the radio. What I want to do now is prepare the frsky. So we're gonna go to modules. Let's go ahead and call this frsky receiver. Find the frsky protocol. Looks like they're working on the V8. Those stars you see here, that means that you don't have access to those protocols. So this is what you have access. You have access to devo, WK2801, which is the older version. All kinds of walkeras, DSM2, DSMX. Just go ahead and choose it. Now it's gray like that, you can actually click on it and activate or deactivate telemetry. J6 Pro. You do not have access to the FlySky. That's hub. That's the A7105 module, as well as the Hubson and Joyceway. All these stars means you have no access because you don't have the right module. frsky is CC2500, SkyAirTech as well, and the V202 is going to be the wltoys. And these are all. This is another good one, SIMA. These are all the protocols that you have access to. Modules, eSky, Bluefly, CX10, etc. Hontai, where those guys are. Alright, so going back to the frsky. Go ahead and frsky, there we go. For D4R. Let me remove these. No, took away the fixed ID. Go ahead and hold down the button, sweetie. Let me know when you're ready. Just to do this with the D4R, what you gotta do to bind it is you gotta push this button and then turn on the power. You let go? Alright, so see how it's blinking like that? That's wrong. That's not supposed to happen. That means that Diana here failed. So we're gonna go ahead and try it again. You gonna push it with your fingers? Go ahead. You good? You still did it wrong because I don't see it. Well, you're doing it wrong. Here, you try the battery and I'll try that. How about that? Go. Alright, see how it's not blinking and there's that green red light? That means it's in bind mode. So when you see a green and red light not blinking or anything like that, that's bind mode. That's a good thing. What you do here simply is, ooh, okay, that's not what I wanted. The icon, there you go, multi-rotor. Anywho, it's ready for binding. All you gotta do is press the bind button. Notice how it starts activating. And you're good. That's all there was to it. You are now binded to the frsky receiver. That simple. I'm going to go ahead and turn it off. And then I'm going to turn it back on. And I'm going to go ahead and test. Oh, there's another perfect example. Right now the channels are not activated on the D4 on the radio, so the D4R is waiting for the arm command, but it's not going to find it. We got to do two things actually. In the devo case as a radio, we're going to have to go ahead and increase the throttle limit slightly to 102, and we're going to have to add the arm disarm button. If I remember correctly, for that frsky receiver, it's going to be channel 8. So it's going to be here, source. I'm going to use the F mode. Ooh, now that I think about it, that's not going to work that way because my Devo 6S is different from my Devo 8S. One of these channels is going to activate the arm button, and it should be number 8, but I don't know which one is sourced. So I'm going to try the aileron because the Devo 8S has a lot more channels. Alright, so simple, source, well, that's throttle. That's gear. Let me make channel 8 the aileron. Where is it? Here it is. That should be it. And gears, gear. Channel 6 is elevator. That's how I usually make it. And as you can see, you can customize this any way you want, really. Just takes a little practice. Channel 7. I'll make that the mixer. Alright, let's see if that did anything. I think it registered this one as the arm button. Let's find out. And it did. Alright, so another thing about the frsky receiver, you want to set the failsafe. Right now, if I disconnect the radio, I think it's just going to turn on by itself, or let's say I have it on. Failsafe, without the failsafe, if I lose connection, it stays spinning. As you can see, the receiver lost connection, and I have no control of the quadcopter. Hold this antenna, sweetie, so it doesn't hit the blades. Thank you.
Wait.
Alright, so I regained control. Now, to activate the failsafe, just hold this button while it's on and while it's on the no throttle, and just push it for like 1 second. That should work. Let's find out if it did. Doesn't always work. Not for me, at least. As you can see, it did not work. Let's try again. Alright, so let's see if it worked now. Careful with your fingers, Diana. And it worked. That's the failsafe kicking in. So what you do is you put the throttle value that you want. You don't have to necessarily have it cut off. You can have it at half speed or whatever speed you want, and then just hit hit the failsafe button, and that'll set to where you want it to be. So right now, and just so you can see how quickly it recovers, I'm going to put it on middle throttle. Careful, Diana. Now it's not going to turn on until I hit the 0 throttle real quick. That's another built-in safety feature. See? Gotta hit that 0 first. So here we go, we're flying, we're in the air, everything's crazy, and then we lose connection. The receiver loses signal, and it cuts off the motors. That's how I set the failsafe off. So you regain connection. It's not going to just start up. You're gonna have to hit the 0 throttle first, and then up. And that's how you program the frsky. I'm not going to do the Devo RX, one because I'm not too familiar with it. I barely use it, but I understand it's as simple as, where's that bind plug, Diana? You see the right there, that's the bind plug. You put this bind plug, I believe, in bad or auxiliary or something like that. Turn it on, hit Devo, hit bind, and in 10 seconds it'll bind. So it's not really a big issue. If you need to know how to, if you can't find it on YouTube or anything, how to do the Devention one, just let me know and I'll figure it out for you. So I'm going to do a quick test with all the other quadcopters, and I'm going to conclude this test. Alright, so here's the rest of my collection. Quads that don't really apply are this morphite octophyte, and then there's the Raiju, one of my personal favorites. That's my hectocopter. Now they have frsky receivers, so I know they'll bind. Just wanted to show off real quick. I'm really proud of those two builds. And here we have a V272 wltoys V272 quadcopter. It's really small, really nimble, really fun. And then we have the Devo walkera ladybird, and here we have the Nano QX FPV version. Now this is going to use the NRF module for wltoys. This is going to use the regular Devo module, which is a surf module, and this is going to be using the DSM X or DSM2. I can't really remember, but we'll find out. So now we have the frsky RX. Let me go ahead and create another model. Just load, pick the second one down, call it, I'm going to call it test, because I'm going to go through all the modes real quick. All of these are easy to bind, and it's as simple as, well, let me erase the, sometimes I find that it doesn't bind as good if you have the fixed ID. It's at 10 milliwatts. You could increase this to 150 max. But if you're flying indoors or whatever, just keep it at 10 milliwatts, saves you battery. Speaking of battery, there's your battery meter. 5.09 volts. If it shakes back and forth while you have, like, for example, the CC2500, no worries, that's actually normal. I don't know why it does that, it just does. Hopefully someday they'll fix that. And yeah, let's go ahead and start with the walkera ladybird. Here we have the Devo module. The walkera binds by turning on the module, and actually by pushing the bind button and then turning on the model. So I'm gonna have to do some quick fancy handwork. So I'm gonna have 10 seconds as soon as I press reinitiate. Let's see if I was fast enough. And I think I was successful. And I was. There we go. Now I'm sure you're wondering why I just flew off and crashed that walkera ladybird. I'm going to explain myself. Most people fly mode 2 Here we go. I personally fly mode 4. So everything was backwards for me. So I'm going to go ahead and change it to mode 4. Now the reason it jumped like that while I changed over was because I hit mode 3. So all the channels reversed all of a sudden. And this became throttle, so it went half throttle. That's why it jumped. So the changes are immediate, as you just noticed. And there you go. Now I can fly. Alright, so the devo module works perfect, as it should. I'm going to go ahead and test the Nano QX. I'm not going to fly because I don't have the right battery for it right now. Nano QX, as I understand, is backwards. I have to turn on the module and then I have to bind it. Unlike the devo where I turn on the TX first and then I turn on the model. So let me go ahead and choose. I think it's DSMX. So I'm going to go ahead and choose DSMX. I'm going to turn on the module, then I'm going to push bind, see if that works out for me. Keep in mind it doesn't always work. However, it looks like this one was successful. Now if it stays in the screen, sometimes I find it helps that if you move one of the sticks a little bit. Alright, so let's go. And it works. Bound up with no problems. Alright. DSMX works no problem. Cool beans. And the CC2500 module works no problem, as I just proved. Last but not least, I think it's out of battery. We're about to find out. It's going to be the V272. It's a great deal, by the way. This is on Amazon for less than 30 bucks, like between 20 to 30 bucks. And it's great for having around the house for people who are just learning. Alright, so let me choose the right protocol. V202. And something cool about the devo radios, the channels. By adding the channels here, you can sometimes find out stuff that's already built into the board. For example, if I just add 2 or 3 channels here, I can shut off the lights, shut them on and off, and I can also put some kind of weird acro mode that does flips. So I can put it on flip mode as well, just like the stock radio would. So that's another selling point on this radio that's very helpful. You can find out things that you couldn't do before with a stock controller, such as turning the lights on and off, which I'm going to try here. Now notice again how I have to fill this all up. I'm going to do a shortcut. What I'm going to do is I'm going to load the frsky I had. I'm going to copy to number 3. I'm going to change this name to test 2. And done. Now in theory this should work with this test 2 instead of frsky receiver should still be bound to that frsky receiver. Moreover, I'm going to go ahead and change it to the V202, and if you'll notice I already have the See number of channels? I'm going to go ahead and increase that to 8. So if you decrease this, you limit your channels here on this list. So if I go to the channel list right here, number of channels, I put 3. Guess what? I'm going to see 3. If I put 4, you guessed it, I'm going to see 4. And then everything else is virtual. So I'm going to go all the way to 8, and it automatically populates what I had on the other one. Gear 0, elevator, mix 0. So I just, did a major shortcut. Good things. Alright, so V202, and just like the other bird, I turned this on first, and then I press bind. And it looks like it worked. That's a pretty good deal there. Oh, and those channels. So there we go. The first channel controls the lights. And one of these channels is going to be controlling I think it's going to be this one, controls the flip modes. So let's see if we can actually get a picture of that. Oh, perfect example now too. If I hit right, it's going left. See? So what I'm going to do, if I'm not mistaken, that is called aileron. See where it says aileron? I'm going to push that button and it's going to be reversed. It's going to have an exclamation mark. Or just go to reverse here. There you go. The exclamation mark means that it's reversed channel. So now it's going the right way. Now I do believe that the rudder is also reversed. Yep, the rudder is also reversed. So rudder, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to reverse it. And there you go, exclamation mark on the rudder. Alternatively, I think you can also go here on simple and click on here to reverse it, as you can see. That's an alternative way of doing it. But I got what I needed. So let's see if I got enough juice here to do 1 or 2 flips. Alright, so see how I'm going left and right aggressively? When I hit the switch, not that one, that's for the lights. When I hit this switch, it should go. Nope, it didn't do it. What about this switch? Nope, didn't do it. What about this switch? Ah, damn it, slow on battery. Come on, baby, give me 1 flip. And I got no more battery. Sorry, buddy. I wasn't able to show you the V272 do flips. Must not have the right channel. And there you go. The NRF module works perfectly for the V202, which is actually 272, but V2 whatever 2 is how they do with wltoys. That video was excessively long. However, it explained a lot. Hopefully it made things easier. It'll make things easier. And your radio is good to go. What you should not do ever with this radio is turn on the power without the antennas on. Do not do that. You could burn one of the modules. So if you ever turn this radio on, make sure that you got your antennas on nice and tight. That's all.